Definitely gonna edit that out.
Right? He's like, hell no, we don't put that on there.
Yeah, we is not putting that shit in there.
Oh, that's so funny, man.
Okay, this is the A and B Conversation Podcast. I'm your host, B Smith, aka B Love, and I have my wonderful co-host with me. And then shout out to JoJo. He is going to miss out on this episode as well. Get well, JoJo. He still
Praying for you.
has the coronavirus.
Oh, man.
But the lovely Latoya Love is sitting in for my guy Jody Fresh. So now we already did 2000 through 2010. So now we're going to tackle the major events from 2011 to 2020. So we're going to start off with February the 26th, 2012. Trayvon Martin was killed.
Oh.
By George Zimmerman.
Wow.
Walking to the store, getting a pack of Skittles, and I forgot what drink he had, but he had Arizona and a pack of Skittles. Mm-hmm. We still don't really know what fully happened. I think I know what happened. This is just my story in my brain.
Right.
I think he ran up on Trayvon, tried to say something crazy. Trayvon wasn't going. Trayvon whooped him, and he's a grown man, and he just got beat up by a 16, 17-year-old, and he couldn't take it. His manhood couldn't take the fact that he just got whooped on, and I think he just killed him.
Yeah. That whole situation was sad. Even though I know it had been happening before then, like, you know, teenagers and black people getting killed by cops and fake cops, because George Zimmerman was not even a cop. He was a freaking neighborhood watchman. Vigilante person. And even though that was happening, it's just something about the Trayvon Martin story really got to me. I was so invested. I mean, I was at work watching it on my computer at work. We got double screens. I was like, manager, I'm watching this. She was like, it's cool or whatever. We were all tuned in, like trying to, you know, watch the live trial on television. And because everybody wanted George Zimmerman to go down for this. Yep. Because who gave you the right?
Yeah, a kid, man. A kid.
Like, it's sad. But, you know, it started a movement, you know, because then after that we got into unfortunately, more children and people were dying at the hands of the law and the fake law. You know, but I think he kind of kicked it off for this generation.
Moving too fast. We're gonna get into.
I'm just saying. I think he's the his case is the.
It started that.
Yeah, the beginning of it. So.
Do you remember where you was when it happened?
No, I don't. But I remember watching it on TV, and that hurt.
Yeah.
That made you like think about a whole lot of stuff. Cause that could have been anybody that you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any children at that time, but I could just imagine like having a 16-year-old and just the thought of not even being able to see your son or daughter graduate,
right? How
that could affect the psyche of a grown man. Like I think that is like my worst fear, and I'm not really scared of shit in life, but I think the only one of my biggest fears is having to bury one of my children. That should just it shouldn't happen.
Right.
They should bury us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A man or a mother or father should never have to see their child in the casket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my only fear in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I really fear for his. I mean, not fear, but I really feel for his parents.
Yeah, I think for anybody, people in general, everybody knows a Trayvon. You know, we all know a Trayvon, so that's why it kind of touched us in that way. You know, at one point, I mean, you were a child, you know, and that could have been you, my brother. You know, it could have been anybody. So I think that made it even more relatable. You know, it was sad. Yeah. And he got off, and that's some BS.
He got off. That's crazy. And
I cried.
That sparked July 13th, 2013, the Black Lives Matter movement. And I really feel like from 2011 to 2020, it's been a wave of movements.
Yes.
And that was the first like movement.
Come together.
The first one. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like, you know, as black people, we do things the right way, but we just not consistent with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like we come together and then we fight, and then it's like, then we just chill.
I think it's and I don't think it's intentional. There are people who are still fighting very hard for the Black Lives Matter movement and all of these movements.
Yeah.
But I do think it's just a natural thing, unfortunately, for people to kind of feel like when you're not getting the results you want, you kind of just feel like,
why are we not getting the results?
All right. Yeah.
Why are we not getting the results when we have all these millionaire basketball players, millionaire football players, millionaire black baseball players, millionaire pastors? Mm-hmm. Why are we not getting those results?
Because they're not the ones making the decision. And they're not the ones making the decision either. You can have so many influential, big name, you know, black people or even, you know, white people, whatever, standing up for you, but they're not the ones making the decision. It's too many people stuck in their own way.
Money counts.
Money, yes.
They
Class.
don't have to make the decisions. Just write the check. Money talk.
Yeah.
Money's gonna make shit happen.
But that, I mean, that's not gonna get somebody, you know, 20 years or 25 to life for something that they did.
It's not, but it'll stop shit. It'll stop shit.
I don't think it's just money. I think it's so much more to it, and unfortunately, I feel like this is the fight of our lives. As a black person, this is a fight that we have to embrace and be willing to fight for the rest of our lives. And that's just how I feel. It's been happening since before, you know, Trayvon. I mean, the whole civil rights movement. You know, they've been fighting for us, and there have been some milestones. We've made some steps and some progressions, but still, we're still going back, fighting for the same thing.
I don't think, this is just my opinion, I don't think fighting is the answer though. I don't think fighting is the answer, because you're going to have those, like, just think about the history of everybody that fought, that we know of. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, and me and my OG, we talk about this all the time. At the end of the day, this, not world, but the United States was made for them. It wasn't made for us. You know what I'm saying? Me and you be talking about this. This shit wasn't made for us. So none of the rules are for us. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, this is my house. If somebody come in my house trying to tell me I can't sit here, that's a problem. Yeah, because you're going to do things my way because this is mine. And that's how they think.
That's how they think.
So fighting, Martin Luther King fought. Yeah, he did. You know.
Yeah, because we have to acknowledge there have been some progressions.
Yeah, but his wife had to bury him.
Unfortunately, yes.
Malcolm X fought.
Yeah.
He got buried. You know what I'm saying? JFK was on our side fighting.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean don't fight, because had they not put up the fight, certain things probably wouldn't have happened.
But I think fight is the wrong word.
Okay, so what? Probably is. What word do you think?
I think fight. You can't fight a system that's against you. You know what I'm saying? You just have to figure the system out and do you. You can't fight against a system that was built. We were slaves while it was being written. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't made for us. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So trying to fight against that system, I just don't think, like, when, and this might sound crazy, and I don't want to offend any Caucasian people, because I love everybody, but I feel like once you put somebody mentally in a space that you're in, it might be some change. And I'm not saying that's what should happen, but if we have to see one of ours go, you know what I'm saying? Going and burning down a Walgreens is not gonna do nothing to a group of white. They don't care.
Yeah, especially in our neighborhoods. I definitely don't agree with rioting your own neighborhood. That makes no sense.
They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, they looking at it like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna say what I wanted to say. I'm not even gonna let that out. But anyway, I don't want to put that in.
So when I say the word fight, I definitely don't mean physical harm or anything. Right. That I'm more so speaking in just like, you know. Just like you say somebody's, you know, fighting breast cancer, fighting something, like, you know, you're actually just trying to make a change, do something different, you know. They use the word fight a lot.
We need to come together. and
Definitely.
build.
We have to come together. We have to stay together.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
That's
like,
the fight.
Staying unified.
Right. That's the fight.
We forever. That's the only way we're ever gonna progress as a people.
And as a people, we just can't get it together. I just pray that we have certain things in line, you know what I'm saying, for the next, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
But we have some good leaders in line, but
Yeah.
I think I don't even think as black people we realize how much power we could have if we all came together.
We're so much more powerful.
If we just came together. Me and you was talking about it. Like, just imagine, like, me buying this house was so hard. You know what I'm saying? It was just tough because it's like, they want to know, like, when you buy a house, they want to know so many things. Why you got 2 cars?
All up in your business.
We need to see pay stubs. You got money on the side. What do you do on the side? How many incomes you have? This is my only income. You know what I'm saying? Well, how can you afford this? You know what I'm saying? It's just so many questions. But just imagine if we didn't have to go to a white bank to get a loan. What if like 40, 50 of the richest black people got together and opened their own bank?
Well, it's supposed to be a movie that's supposed to come out, and this is kind of on the same time, but it's supposed to be a movie that's supposed to come out about that, like the first black bank.
That would be.
But
that would change
they kind of
the game.
stopped it, but I think it is going to end up coming out.
I don't think they're going to let that come out.
I think it's about to, because I'm starting to see previews again, but they kind of have put a pause, like a stop.
Of course.
We ain't trying to see that type of thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I do think it makes a difference.
That will make a huge difference. Like, money matters.
But yeah, shout out. I think the Black Lives Matter movement is a good step forward, like in the right direction, to get things started. More conversations are being held now because of Black Lives Matter. It's more openly discussed, even though some people are against it. At least it's being talked about. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so shout out to everybody that's representing the Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
So we're gonna fast forward to June 26, 2015. Same-sex marriage was pushed, legalizing it in all 50 states. I'll let y'all handle this one.
I'm here for
Love
it.
is love.
Love is love. I'm here for it. It's nothing wrong with you. Love who you love. I don't understand why it's anybody's business in the first place. Be happy, be married if that's something you believe in, because there are, LGBTQ. I can't say all the letters, y'all. It's so many now, so I'm gonna put the plus sign. I'm sorry, please don't get offended. But LGBTQ, etc. People that believe in marriage, and why not? Why can't they have the right to be married? What's wrong with that? They're in love too. I'm all for it. And I can't wait. Somebody invite me to y'all same-sex marriage wedding, because I heard they be lit, and I'm trying to go. And I'm put that out there. Yes, I'm trying to go.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So I have a cousin that is gay, and he was with his partner for a while. They got married. So, I wasn't invited, but I wasn't gonna go anyway if I was invited. But this is my thing though. Do you agree that kids should be at the wedding? Because that was my only thing. I don't care. Like, I used to be homophobic, but I'm not anymore. Like, I don't care no more. Like, you can love whoever you want to love, but I just feel like the same sex is being pushed very hard to be normal, and it's being pushed on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. Like, you're seeing it on shows that come on at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I really don't think that agenda should be normalized and pushed on kids. That's my only thing.
I think that's separate from the same-sex marriage portion of it. But to answer your question about kids being at a wedding, I don't see why not. If you're okay with children being at your wedding, me personally, I ain't really want a lot of kids at my wedding, so the kids was at my wedding were like older. In the wedding. Well, they were in the wedding. Like my nephew was supposed to be in it, but he slept through.
How old are these kids you talking about?
My niece was 5 when I got married. My nephew, he was, I think, 3.
So you think it's okay for a 5-year-old to go to a wedding and seeing 2 men tongue each other down?
If that's their family, like, if they've seen it, I mean, they've been around it. I'm not against it. I don't know. I'm not against it.
You think children, it's okay for them to be exposed to that?
If that is part of your life, so you're gonna tell somebody, oh, your little sister can't come because she's a child. If that's something they're gonna see anyway, it's different. I don't agree with pushing the agenda and putting it on TV the way that they're doing it. No, but as far as a wedding is supposed to be intimate. It's supposed to be people that you know and you love and you trust to be around. So if you love these children and you want these kids at your wedding, as long as their parents are fine with it, who am I to say they can't go? I don't have the right.
I just don't think that should be something that you're explaining to a 5-year-old why 2 men are kissing.
Well, I think it's necessary to explain anyway nowadays because it's out here. So it has to be explained to your child at some point. I'm not saying a certain age, I don't know, but at some point it's a conversation that has to be had because unfortunately it is something that is out here more than maybe it should be because it is pushed. The agenda is definitely pushed. I don't agree with some of the stuff that's on
true.
Nickelodeon
I think
and things
certain
like that.
things are age. I just believe, I'm old school, so I believe in a lot of things. You can do whatever you want to do. You can live whatever life you want to live. But I think there's certain things should be age appropriate than others because our kids going to find out about stuff anyway. But we not going to be watching a porno and have some 5-year-olds on the couch. That's not appropriate. Now, is sex in the world? Of course. But we're not going to watch a porno with a 5-year-old.
Right. But a same sex, I mean, let's think about a marriage. How many weddings you go to and people just like, like getting just real nasty with the kids. That normally don't happen. You know what I'm saying? They try to keep it a little classy. Anyway, and if you don't want your kids to see the kids, just go like this, baby. Don't look. Don't look. Because sometimes, you don't want them to see just men and women kissing because some folks just freaky like that, I don't think it's anything wrong with it, but hey, when you get married, that's your call, and I support whatever you do. I'm just saying, it's your call.
You're talking about same-sex marriage. You said when I get married. I'm married your own female.
I'm just saying it's your call. Like whenever you get married, it's your call on whatever you want at your wedding, and I feel like we should treat them the same way. It's your call. It's your wedding. Do what you want to do.
So you don't believe in age-appropriate things?
I didn't say that, Brandon. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm just saying that
you said
your question.
You said it's cool.
I don't think it's anything wrong with a child going to a same-sex wedding as long as their parent is fine with it. Who am I to say it's wrong?
It's just a conversation that need to be had.
Yeah.
They're going to see it regardless.
So you would take JJ to a wedding with 2 men?
If I had an uncle that was getting married to another man and we were invited, I would take him because he's exposed to it. I would not show up to my uncle's wedding because that's not
2 men cutting the cake.
It's just
that's
a piece
a conversation
of cake
that we're gonna have to have.
See, I don't like that.
Well, and that's why we are,
we all different. Yeah, we all different.
And that's what makes this world go round. As we're different.
Okay, so
shout out to same-sex marriage. It was a great forward movement
I agree.
For the LGBT community, and I
100%.
applaud you guys. And they fought so hard for that. So congratulations. Love is love.
Brad and Bill. Do you think?
And don't forget women, because men, y'all tend to always just look at it like, men. No, there are lesbian women as well.
Lesbian marriage is cool.
See, that's a double standard. That is a whole double standard. Really? But you know what? We need to have that conversation one day because that's a double standard. That ain't right.
Life is a double standard.
So Lisa and Ashley, y'all good too. Absolutely.
Life is a double standard.
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about that. Write that down because that's important.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So we're going to talk about double standards.
Double standards.
Okay. That'll be a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're moving on to December 2017. This movement. The Me Too movement.
Oh, okay.
That took over. They locked my man Bill up. But Trump is running the country.
And as long as he run the country, he gonna be good.
They locked up Bill Cosby.
It's like he got immunity or something. Oh, that's weird.
They locked up Bill Cosby. I'm still stuck on that.
Yeah.
Like, Bill was like the dad of all dads.
Especially for
that hit home. That hit home. Because I'm like, out of all the shows that, well, you didn't grow up on.
But I did watch. Hold up now. Hold up. I seen the reruns. Don't
right.
get it twisted.
No, but like the dad you looked up to was maybe like Uncle Phil. You was Uncle Phil.
I love Fresh Prince.
Carl Wilson. Was his name Carl?
Yeah, Carl.
Winslow.
Winslow. You talking about Family Matters?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't a big Family Matters fan.
You wasn't?
No, I watched it, but I think. Okay, let me not put my opinion, but Fresh Prince was definitely a better show.
You more of a step by step. Full House.
No, Fresh Prince. You had it right. Don't try me. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is my show.
You look like more like a Boy Meets World type.
No, I never watched Boy Meets World.
You never watched Boy Meets World?
I never liked it. It wasn't my show.
Topanga was
my cousin
banging.
loved it. My cousin loved Boy Meets World, my younger cousin, but it wasn't my favorite. I was into black shows. I really like I would stay up at night watching Martin and Jamie Foxx and Fresh Prince.
Yeah, that's more your era. Martin, Jamie.
Fresh Prince. Absolutely.
You never watched Friends? You look more.
I watched Friends a couple episodes.
See, that's not a black show.
But I was more Living Single was my show though.
I like Living Single.
I'm telling you, like I still watch reruns, all of them, all of those shows, not all that the show, like all.
Oh,
of that,
I thought you said
all of those shows. I just said no.
I thought you were talking about Nickelodeon. No. I was like, no, all that was dope though.
All that was dope, but we're talking about Mr.
Okay, let's get back the Me Too movement. I really, I have so many opinions on the Me Too movement. I just don't think it's fair for a woman to be able to come out 30 years later and say he did. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's just certain groups you can't say nothing. You can't attack the Me Too. You can't attack the LGBT community. It's like once a wave come, that wave that's law. So it's like you can't say nothing about a woman because it's like you're insensitive to her feelings. But it's like if those was your feelings, why it take you 30 years to speak on it?
Okay. Okay. The Me Too movement is so much bigger than Bill Cosby.
It is. But Bill is like a very sad case.
It is.
In that movement.
To a certain extent, it definitely is. Because, I mean, to people who were truly victims out there in the Me Too movement, like, obviously our hearts are with people who are true victims. I do think that there are liars out there and they're causing a cloud to kind of hover over the Me Too movement and give people, a side eye, like, I don't know. Because it's too many people that are coming up with false stories and it's overshadowing the true stories and it's not fair to the true victims.
I agree.
As far as Bill Cosby and charges, I thought there was a statute of limitations on certain things, so I am kind of surprised that stuff from like the 60s and 70s or whatever came out and they actually stood. Yeah, that was weird to me. Weird. With no proof, and court is supposed to be all about proving your case.
Right.
That's weird. So to me, that case is somewhat sad.
But there was some money involved in that. Like Bill was about to cash a check, and he didn't want to give up some of that check, so he had to go.
Well, and I mean, it's a black man, and I mean, a lot of times it's easy to just try to ruin a black man reputation to them, unfortunately. Yeah. But speaking of that, and I'm not trying to jump or anything, along with the Me Too movement, Harvey Weinstein did get, his time, and that's someone who's not black, but still a big anchor, like someone that they were like using to kind of push this movement, like, hey, this is a guy working in this industry, and a lot of women have been affected by him, and I feel like he got his due time or sentence or whatever. But Me Too movement, I mean, for all the victims, don't be afraid to speak out if you're a true victim. Shame on you people who are lying, because it's just not fair.
It's not.
Yeah.
And then we had R. Kelly.
I gotta sit. Y'all start that one.
We had Kels. Kels fan?
I am an R. Kelly fan.
So
he got good music. I like his music.
What did you think about the documentaries that came out?
Honestly, I couldn't even really watch all of them. I didn't. It's still on my Netflix playlist.
I watched a couple of them, but I ain't gonna act like some of that stuff was. It just was a lot for me. Some of it.
It's a lot.
But I'm not gonna say that none of it's true. I cannot say that at all.
I really, in my personal opinion on that, and I'm a huge R. Kelly fan. You know what I'm saying? Every playlist back in the day had Kells on it. You know what I'm saying? I think that R. Kelly was definitely, I would say, when you hear, not just the women, because I don't listen to the women. You know what I'm saying? I want to know about the men that was around him when he was doing that and what they had to say about him. So a lot of people say R. Kelly, he had a lot going on mentally. He wasn't all the way there. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't read. He was illiterate, and he preyed on young women because mentally he was very immature. But yes, he's wrong because he's a grown man.
Absolutely.
But them cab drivers, them limo drivers
they
that
wrong
was taking
too.
him to them high schools
Yes.
and doing all that. But then you gotta think about it like this. I'm a father, I have a daughter. If my daughter's 16, I'm not sending her
Backstage to go.
not even backstage. One father flew his daughter to Florida to stay with R. Kelly for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, see, that's the part.
A 16-year-old, you staying in a hotel with grown men?
Yeah.
Because you thinking of dollar signs.
Yeah.
So the parents need to be
Some of them
too.
definitely need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Because.
And that was my only thing. They painting R. Kelly to be like this monster, which he is.
I mean, he gross. We ain't gonna act like he ain't.
No, definitely.
Because it's nasty. They're children.
But
Right.
how did your 13 and 14 and 15-year-olds, how was they in the studio with this grown man for weeks at a time?
Right. Yeah. And where the hell were you?
Where were
is the question.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why weren't you present? I never will understand that. I'm not a parent, but let me tell you one thing I'm not going to do is allow no grown-ass man to be just with my child all hours of the night talking about we recording a song. Child, you better come do this homework and go to bed.
Yeah. That was my only thing with that. It's like they was just paying R. Kelly to be like he was the only problem, and everybody was just like, you know what, he just paid me to. If my homeboy called me and say, "Hey, bro, man, this is bad chick at Berkmar."
Like, I'm sorry, what?
Berkmar.
First of all, let me call the police now because the fact that you're even thinking about it is a problem.
You drop me off over
You're
there?
gross.
Nigga, no.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's just like with a crime, you know what I'm saying? If you see somebody doing something wrong, you know, and you don't say anything, it's like aiding and abetting. Like you're doing the same thing with the R. Kelly situation. You're just sitting there helping him. Yeah. You're like, oh, well, I ain't the one doing it, so it's okay. I'm going to drop him off to this place. I'm going to pick this girl up. I'm going to close the curtain while he over here doing this. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
They had a whole tour bus and things were happening. Thanks. You know, how many people on the tour bus? Nobody going to say nothing?
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
It ain't that much money.
It ain't that much money in the world.
Yeah. But definitely that movement is going, and like you said, all the women who are telling the truth and who are really seriously victimized by, you know, sexual predators, however the case may be, definitely heart goes out to them. And definitely if you are a woman and you're getting taken advantage of at the workplace, wherever you at, definitely speak up.
Speak up. It's hard. It's embarrassing. I understand all of the emotions that someone probably feels. But, you know, it's better to say something to somebody that can help you.
Yeah. And I was talking to my OG the other day, and this is crazy to think about this. We can say that we breathed air in 5 different decades. That's crazy.
Look, we trying to count.
Because I was thinking 4, but I was like, when I think about it, we breathed air in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, 2010, and now 2020.
Come on, Jesus. Mm-hmm.
That's a blessing.
And you thought it was going to be over.
You thought it was over in 2000. Did he think he was at the church like, Lord?
I thought we was
11:59. Y'all was.
I thought we was out of here.
I don't know what they thought was going to happen. Okay, but you know, also in 2012, people thought that the world was ending then too. So that happened twice in our lifetime. Remember the Mayan calendar? Like, I was the end of the world. And Chris Brown came out with a song called 2012. It's sexual. Okay, yes, it's Chris Brown. Of course it is. But it's a great song.
Right.
He was like, we gonna do it like it's the end of the world. Okay. And that's a great way to go. I would have, like, if it was the end of the world in 2012, going out doing it ain't a bad idea. I would think so.
I second that.
I know you do.
I second that.
And now you do. Yeah. I do.
Okay, come on.
I'm not gonna disagree with you.
But we're still here, and that's a blessing.
And now we're literally in March of 2020, and we can say that we've lived through, like, in 10 years when they do the recap, there's 2 things that have happened in just 3 months that will probably make the top 5 major events with, you know, the death of Kobe Bryant, of course, and this coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like already, and we still in March, so
it's like, okay, just throw 2020 away, child.
Right, yeah. So definitely rest in peace to Kobe, Gigi. Hearts goes out to his,
and the families, the other
Vanessa,
victims.
the other victims, definitely, and this coronavirus, everybody, just. You know what I'm saying? Just stay.
Every time you say coronavirus,
you gotta get some
pick up the hand sanitizer.
You gotta get the hand sanitizer, man. Everybody stay safe out there.
This is how you rub on hand sanitizer.
Right, yeah. Everybody stay safe out
all
there.
Up in the creases.
And once again, Jody Fresh, get well.
Yes.
Still in quarantine.
Yes.
Get well, Jody.
And don't forget to put lotion on after hand sanitizer and washing your hands, because we black folks, and we do get ashy right up in here, and that ain't cute. It's not.
Another amazing episode of the A&B Conversation Podcast. We go on.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Erica Simone. Thank you for watching our episode. If you enjoyed this episode of the A&B Conversation Podcast, be sure to like, comment, subscribe below to our YouTube channel. Also, follow us on Instagram. Can't wait to see you next time. This is the A&B Conversation Podcast.